One of the biggest comments or messages that I would receive at first was asking me how I was going to level up as a married woman. Some main categories when it comes to the relationship side of things and leveling up were the women who were leveling up because they wanted to attract a wealthy, successful, rich man. And there were other women like me that I realized, were already in a relationship with a man that they loved, but perhaps he was described as the average Joe. So many women mentioned that they felt like their husbands were a huge obstacle to their level up journey, and that is sad. Hello, beautiful ones, and welcome back to my channel. I am wishing you a happy new year. Cannot wait to get into the book discussion for today's video. In the case you are new here, my name is Leisha and I've been documenting my personal level up journey since 2020 here on YouTube. I have been sharing my transformation from broke beach bum into feminine, elegant, and affluent woman. I typically upload once a week, usually Sundays. I'm a mother of a 1-year-old now, and so I'm trying really hard to sit down and record these videos every week and upload because I love doing it, and it's held me accountable to my transformation over the past 2.5 years now. So I'd love to have you join me. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be starting off with the book discussion about The Empowered Wife: 6 Surprising Secrets for Attracting Your Husband's Time, Attention, and Affection. This is the new version of the book by Laura Doyle, which came out just the second week of January, I believe. And so I ended up having this book recommended in one of the posts that I did recently on the channel, and I have read, I think, through the first 2 chapters. I've gotten, I think, to chapter 3 and 4. The way the book is divided up is there are 6 intimacy secrets, which you could define as skills as well. I cannot wait to learn the rest of them, but so far I've been applying some of them, and the results that I've been getting in my relationship are, well, let's just say encouraging. I do want to keep moving forward with what I'm learning in this book. Just some quick housekeeping before I dive into the introduction and a little bit of the first chapter that I'm going to share with you today. I have just decided that I'm going to be making these videos a little bit more casual for the time being because, as you can see, I'm here in my bedroom. I usually don't record here, but I am grateful that my husband has gotten me a wonderful light for my birthday and actually just got me a new camera because my old lens was just done, and I kept having to re-record so many of my videos because I would record them during a nap time, and then as I would send them off to my assistant, she would tell me that they were unfortunately so out of focus. I also keep getting sick, and the reality is just that if I want to keep sharing, which is something that I love, and I get really bummed out when I'm not uploading and talking through what I'm learning on my journey, focusing on my journey, I get so bummed out by that. And so this is going to be the way that I show up for the time being during this season. Very casual today. I have my makeup on. I did go out and go to a therapy appointment, and I went to the gym this morning. This is a lovely J. Crew sweater, that top that I love. I actually got when I was pregnant and still wear this. Just dressed it up with a little bit of jewelry. I've been a little under the weather, like I've mentioned before. It's just that season, and so I'm still a little congested, but hopefully this new setup is nice and the sound is good. It's a lot simpler, so I think it's going to encourage me to continue along with my, simplifying trend in my journey. And all of that being said, let's go ahead and let's get started talking about this book. I have my notes here. I'm gonna be reading off of notes too, because there is so much that I'm jotting down as I'm reading this and then applying what I'm learning throughout the week that I don't wanna forget. And to be honest with you all, it has come a little bit more of a challenge to me in motherhood to just sit down and speak very articulately and eloquently without having notes in front of me anymore. I used to be able to have more time to kind of think through what I was going to be saying when I share my journey with you all here. So bear with me. These come from notes that I wrote down. So these skills that Laura has written about, she describes them as life-changing secrets that she learned from women who are in happy marriages, and it sounds like they were probably in marriages further along than she was in hers. She applied them to her own marriage, which she says, she was married to a loser. That's how she describes her marriage state before learning these secrets. And she says, I was married to the wrong person, embarrassed by him, and they argued a lot. She wanted him to improve himself and pay more attention to her. And I will be so honest with you all. I'm very grateful that my husband has supported my journey for, the past 2.5 years. He's always supported my goals, and parenthood, however, has been a challenge for us. And I think that regardless of where you are in life, if you're on a level up journey or seeking to improve your life as a woman who either is in a serious relationship, married, or seeking a serious relationship, I think that the different life stages we go through and the different levels that we attain in life will come with different challenges in our relationships that we have to grow through. And so this book really caught my eye when I was trying to decide what I was going to be refreshing my level up journey with this year to start out with. And I think that your relationships can have so much impact over your ability to keep going forward towards the things that you desire in the life that you want to be living, towards elegance, towards affluence, towards just having even a simplified life where your finances maybe aren't to the level of, luxury vacations every single month, but maybe you're just trying to be able to afford paying for your child's school or just some organic groceries. I mean, the grocery bills are insane right now. So I think, again, you have to have a relationship that is going to support some of your desires. And, we want to go through life feeling connected, feeling like we are cherished and treasured in our relationships, instead of going, through the motions with it, right? So that's something that I'm seeking to improve, and I'm already excited about what I've learned so far and applied. So continuing on here is a really big side note. I put this down as a side note, but this is really big. When I first started to upload and share my level up journey here on YouTube, I didn't quite know what to expect, but one of the biggest comments or messages that I would receive at first was asking me how I was going to level up as a married woman. Because I think that there were sort of two categories of women. There's more, but some main categories when it comes to the relationship side of things and leveling up were the women who were leveling up because they wanted to attract a wealthy, successful, rich man. And there were other women like me that I realized, were already in a relationship with a man that they loved, but perhaps he was described as the average Joe. And, perfectly good man, but just not the wealthy, gonna provide you with the ultimate luxurious lifestyle type of relationship. And sadly, very sadly, I would have women message me and ask, when is it appropriate to divorce your husband if you're trying to get him on the same page with you and he's just not there when it comes to leveling up your life. And that is just so sad. And so I think that, if you're like me and you're thinking through how am I going to get my husband on board with what I want to accomplish in life, this book right here may very well be something that you should read along with me here and discuss. Some of the first statements that Laura is sharing in this book were very challenging for me to hear because I saw a lot of myself in the way that she was describing how she was going about having conversations and communicating with her husband. And we all sort of are told communication in relationships is the key. And it's very important, don't get me wrong, but she talks about the way that we communicate and how as women, we sort of assume that there's a certain way that you should go about persuading your husband or significant other to go along with what you want, to provide the desires that you have in your relationship and in life. And so I was confronted by some of her statements. Of course, I want to improve my relationship, and so I'm considering her statements. One of the biggest ones that I have to share with you all, and I'm curious to know if you would like to chime in the comments what you think about this. In the first chapter, this is actually chapter 1, she says that marriage counselors are marriage cancelers. I think that is a bold statement. I'm curious to know any ladies out there who have tried marriage counseling for your relationship. How did it go and what was the outcome? Because I gain a lot from my counselor, my personal counselor. I was dumbfounded to read some of these things she's saying about marriage counseling. She was saying things like the counseling sessions focus so much on the problems and not the solutions to the marriage, focus a lot on what is the couple doing incorrectly. And I do agree that it is hard, I think, to continue to show up in your life and make progress when you're focusing on negative aspects versus on your strengths. So I have to agree with that. Again, let me know what you think about this statement. I'm not going to get too into the details because I do think it's worth reading all of the words that Laura sums up here about the marriage counseling piece of trying to save your marriage or trying to improve your relationship through marriage counseling and why it doesn't work. Okay, and of course she goes into when you're married to someone who is abusive and those types of situations. I'm not going to get into that. This is kind of more for discussing, your husband is just not showing up the way that you think he should be, and how as women, who want to improve ourselves, how we want to, bring our husbands along into that, right? I love my husband. I don't want him to be left behind by any of my leveling up activities. And we have, I think, grown a lot together in our journey. But now, again, parenthood, like I said, it's just making things very interesting with our dynamic and our roles. One thing that I do love that she starts out by saying in the introduction is that, she originally thought that divorce was her solution to her relationship. And I admired that she is speaking up and saying that you do not have to divorce your husband. You don't have to break up with your significant other. There are some skills that you can learn and you can try. And she speaks a lot of, examples from women that what she did was she created her own little accountability group, I think, and they decided to work through some of these skills and the information that these more experienced women who are in happy marriages shared, and she saw such amazing things happen in her own marriage and in her friends' marriages, and she shares a lot about that. The other important thing that I wanted to discuss from the introduction, the first parts of this book, she is explaining that fixing your marriage or improving your marriage and your relationship is actually up to you. And I've noticed within the leveling up community and just femininity in general, we do talk a lot about how, the man should be the one providing, the man should be taking care of you, and you should be accepting of that. And my cat is back here. This is where they like to hang out during the day. Luna, you got your mouse? Yes, I know. You want to come get in my lap? Come on. Okay. Luna wanted to jump in my lap. So she's talking about how as women, we set the tone for our relationships. And that is something that I don't think I have been owning up to very well. I think that I have been sort of expecting more out of my husband in that category, in that role. For our marriage specifically. And so maybe that's you, maybe you can relate. I do have very high expectations for my husband, and he does try. He's amazing. He has done amazing things for our family since we have had our daughter. But I think now is probably my time to work on these skills that Laura's talking about and try them and see, where can I help to set the tone in our personal relationship together. Okay, so I actually kind of covered intro through chapter 2. I'm going to talk about the first skill in the next video because I think this might get a little bit too long for us, but I am so excited to dive into the skills. And like I said, I've already been kind of applying this first skill, and kind of the second skill I've read ahead a little bit. So please join me. I think that this is going to be really transformative. Like I said in the beginning of this video, so many women mentioned that their husbands, they felt like their husbands were a huge obstacle to their level up journey. And that is sad. My husband has actually been one of my biggest assets to my journey. We have had some challenges in the beginning and here in parenthood, but biggest asset, hands down. I could not have accomplished what I have over the past 2.5 years, without my husband being a part of it. And that is just me being honest and upfront. I'm not sugarcoating it. And I think that, of course, the transformation never stops and our relationships are always going to grow and evolve. And I want to be better equipped to have a very fulfilling, lasting marriage, not only just for me selfishly, but also as we continue to raise our family and work towards these big goals and aspirations that we have as a couple. And so I'll leave you with what the back of the book says. So she's got this newly updated connection framework, which I mentioned that this is the newer edition that just came out in 2023 of this book. But it says that this framework will empower you to attract his attention like a magnet when you relax more and do less. That's definitely what I need. Get back to your bliss when he seems distant. Receive affection not because you told him to make more of an effort, but because he naturally seeks you out. Feel more like yourself and like yourself more. And let me mention something else really quickly. When I first started this journey, I knew that I did not want to become a copy of someone else, and I did not want to show up as a character here either. That's why, I think I will get comments sometimes about my videos and about what I'm saying, what I'm learning. I am a work in progress. I'm not perfect. I do aspire towards elegance, towards the finer things in life. And above all though, I don't want to get lost. I don't want to be someone else. I have some really hard beliefs about that. Like those are not budging. And so I don't want to just fake my way through having a good relationship or having good friendships. I think that there's already plenty of that going around on the internet. And that's one of the reasons why, I just have stepped away from Instagram. And I will see if I can find this diagram that I saw someone post where, you see only a small blip of someone's actual life versus like what is actually going on in their life, what they're working through. And I don't want to completely dismiss that I can't have you walking around with me 24/7 in and out of every day. I do want to inspire, I do want to motivate. I'm not going to, of course, like whip my camera out in the most difficult arguments or the days of motherhood that I have going through this journey. But, I think the best I can do is just learn skills and learn perspectives that will help me to stay true to myself and my nature, my unique abilities and characteristics and personality. And so with that being said, I've already gone over 20 minutes, which is way longer than I think I wanted to sit here and record. I appreciate you being here and spending time with me this week. I am wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Go ahead and grab this book. I will leave it linked down below. I probably, to be honest, it's going to be an Amazon link, affiliate link, and I make tiny little pennies if someone purchases through my links. And I only make like $20 a video here on YouTube. So I'm not really doing this for making it a career or anything like that, but it does help encourage me to keep showing up some and helps me to try and improve my supplies and stuff like that for making videos. So again, I will see you in the next video. If you have not caught up with me yet on one of these videos, I will link them here on the screen for you. And until next time, bye.